You've joined us on a breezy day here at Tony Rust 36 Pits, as we're getting ready to get things underway. It's Richard Reshka, sitting comfortably in second. The third position belongs to JP Brand.
JP Brand will be ready to show what they're made of.
Blake Hurley will begin the race from the fourth spot on the starting grid. Our fifth place starter, Ernest Heather, is poised to make a move towards the front. The sixth starting position belongs to Henko van den Berg, who will be looking to make up ground early on. Wayne Midden is lining up seventh. As the engines roar to life, Jamie Nichols prepares to take off from the eighth position on the starting grid.
They'll be looking for a clean race.
From the middle of the pack, we have Bradley Taylor in ninth place on the starting grid. Green light, and the race begins. As drivers jockey for position, they must be cautious of potential pileups.
Maintaining a safe distance while still pushing for position is a delicate balance. Experience and composure will be vital in these opening moments.
The tensions are high, and no one will want to make a crucial mistake on the first lap. The pressure is on when the field is this tightly packed. Maintaining just enough aggression to hold off their rivals without pushing too hard will help these drivers keep it clean. Races are often more about maintaining consistency than having outright pace, but it doesn't hurt to have a little good luck every now and then. It's a solid performance from Caden Scott at the moment. They're holding their position and not getting too caught up in battles around them.
Consistency is key in racing. Caden Scott just needs to keep doing what they're doing and wait for opportunities to present themselves.
Disappointing for Caden Scott, they now find themselves in 12th.
Sucks to be them, Lucy.
In racing, anything can, and usually does, happen, especially in such an epic showdown. Talk about being caught in the middle. Jacobus Besson is sandwiched between their rivals, Warren Dodd 0.2 seconds behind and Kenneth Ella 0.2 seconds ahead. The battle for position is on. Hold your breath, folks. Jacobus Besson is sandwiched between two relentless competitors. Breaking update. Oh dear, Jacobus Besson has had an incident. The crowd is on the edge of their seats as Renzo Scott in 25th chases after Jacobus Besson. The delta is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Renzo Scott needs to find a way to close the gap. Things are heating up as JP Brand closes in on Richard Reshka. The gap between them is down to practically nothing. This is going to be a nail-biter. Ernest Heather is defending for their life, but Wayne Midden is right there doing everything they can to force a mistake.
Wayne Midden.
Hold on a moment. I don't think that's the fastest way around Tony Rust 36 Pits. This is a thrilling battle as JP Brand edges closer to Richard Reshka in their fight for P2.
With just 0.4 seconds between them, JP Brand will need to close the gap to have hopes of a pass.
Hold on a moment. I don't think that's the fastest way around Tony Rust 36 pits. JP Brand is pushing really hard, but as we know, pushing too hard can lead to other mistakes, like locking up the brakes or missing a shift. These drivers are walking a razor's edge between pushing the limits and making costly errors.
Absolutely, it's all about finding that sweet spot where you're pushing the car to its limits without crossing the line into reckless driving. That's where experience and skill come into play.
The adrenaline is pumping as Ernest Heather gets within striking distance of Wayne Midden in their race for 6th. This is what high-octane racing looks like. Tyler Scott is breathing down the neck of Bradley Taylor, not giving them any room to relax. What a move! Tyler Scott has moved. Breaking news, folks. Oh dear, Bradley Taylor has had an incident. Oh, this is getting intense. Kenneth Ella is just behind Willie Van Wyck. Wow, Enzo van den Heever is really pushing hard to catch up to Jean-Pierre Dutoit. There's blood in the water for 18th place.
You know what they say, keep your friends close, and your racing rivals even closer. Looks like Enzo van den Heever is taking that advice to heart today.
Jean-Pierre Dutoit wants to get into Enzo van den Heever's slipstream. A great moment for Jean-Pierre Dutoit, who has just gained a place and moved up the standings. A setback for Jean-Pierre Dutoit, who has just been passed. The pressure is on for Peter Geldenhuys as they try to catch up to Jacobus Besson.
I would not be surprised if they get this pass completed soon.
Oh dear, Peter Geldenhuys has dropped down to 22nd.
That's got to hurt. Peter Geldenhuys will be kicking themselves right now.
Hold on to your hats, folks. JP Brand is right on the heels of Richard Reshka, and we're in for a wild ride. The gap between Ernest Heather and Wayne Midden is razor thin as they vie for 6th in this nail-biting contest. Pushing too hard can lead to mistakes, and we're seeing that now. Breaking news, folks. Oh dear, Bradley Taylor has had an incident. Oh, this is getting intense. Francois van den Heever is just a few car lengths behind Kenneth Ella.
The gap between them is just over 0.4 seconds, which can feel like miles if you're trailing and not catching up.
It's a game of inches now as Jacobus Besson tails Philip van Staden closely, ready to capitalize on any mistake. The fans are on the edge of their seats. It doesn't get any closer than this. Great driving from Warren Dodd, who has just gained a place and moved up to 18th.
Absolutely, Warren Dodd is really putting on a clinic out there, and they're making it look easy.
Jean-Pierre Dutoit could be looking for a way up the inside of Warren Dodd. A brilliant maneuver from Jean-Pierre Dutoit, who has just moved up the field.
Impressive. Jean-Pierre Dutoit is really showing their skill and determination out there.
Heartbreak for Jean-Pierre Dutoit, as they slip down the field.
Yes, but they can't give up. There's still plenty of time left in this race, and Jean-Pierre Dutoit needs to stay focused and keep pushing.
It's a classic case of chasing down the car ahead for JP Brand, who is currently in P4. But Henko van den Berg is not making it easy, and the gap remains over a second. This will require some expert driving from JP Brand.
It's going to be tough for JP Brand, as Henko van den Berg seems to have found their rhythm. But anything can happen in racing, and we've seen JP Brand pull off some impressive moves before. I'm excited to see if they can make it happen again.
This is what it's all about, folks. Joni Geldenhuys is in hot pursuit of Ernest Heather, who's just trying to stay ahead.
You can feel the intensity in the air. The slightest mistake could cost either of them valuable time and the position.
Wayne Midden is running 8th. They are trying to catch Joni Geldenhuys.
This is not going to be an easy pass to make.
This is what racing is all about. Two fierce competitors pushing each other to the limit. Superb driving from Willy Van Wyck, who with that overtake has gained a position in the race. A tough moment for Willy Van Wyck, who has just lost a place, dumping them down to 12th. It's a close race between Warren Dodd and Jean-Pierre Du Toit in 17th. A great pass for Warren Dodd as they pick off other drivers and move up the field. Meanwhile, Jean-Pierre Du Toit has lost ground.
Absolutely. Warren Dodd is showing great pace and determination, but they can't get too confident.
Breaking news, folks. Oh dear, Bradley Taylor has had an incident. Things are heating up as Henko van den Berg tries to close the gap to JP Brand. This is what separates the best from the rest. These drivers are demonstrating their racecraft, searching for any weakness to exploit. It's a true test of skill. A solid performance from Tyler Scott, who is holding down 9th.
Definitely Lucy, but they can't afford to get complacent. They have to keep pushing hard to stay in the game.
It's a battle out there. Each driver trying to outsmart and outmaneuver the other.
This is what makes motor racing so exciting. The tension is high and the stakes are even higher. I would not bet on either racer at this point, as it's too close to call.
On the final lap now, and Danny Van Ruyen looks like they might just wrap up this win.
It takes a special kind of driver to perform under pressure like this. Danny Van Ruyen has certainly risen to the occasion.
What a win! This is a historic moment for Danny Van Ruyen, who put on a masterclass in driving today. What a display of skill and precision.
You can see the sheer determination on Danny Van Ruyen's face as they take the win. That's the mark of a true champion, folks.
A nail-biting finish, but Richard Reschke claims 2nd place. What a race from JP Brand. They kept their cool and secured a well-earned 3rd place on the podium. Finishing 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th is Henko van den Berg, Blake Hurley, Wayne Midden, and Ernest Heather. Taking 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th is Joni Geldenhuys, Tyler Scott, Bradley Taylor, and John Visser. In 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th, it's Willy Van Wyck, Kenneth Ella, Francois van den Heever, and Robert Stoltz. 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th is Philip Van Staden, Warren Dodd, Jamie Nichols, and Jacobus Besson. Coming in 20th, 21st, 22nd, and 23rd we have Peter Geldenhuys, Enzo van den Heever, Renzo Scott, and Caden Scott. Jean-Pierre Du Toit, Ivan Lerm, and Robert Engelbrecht in 24th, 25th, and 26th. There's a little bit of wind in the air today here at Tony Rust 36 pits, as we're getting ready to get things underway. Richard Reshka is placed in second. Starting just behind the front runners in third place is the determined driver, JP Brand. Henko van den Berg is going to be starting from fourth. We see Blake Hurley sitting in the fifth spot.
It's like they're on the outside looking in, close enough to see the front without actually being there.
Wayne Mitten is sixth.
But sometimes the underdog can surprise you. Let's see what they've got in the tank.
Sitting in seventh is Ernest Heather. On the eighth grid slot we have Joni Geldenhuys. Tyler Scott will be looking to gain ground quickly as they start from ninth on the grid.
But if they can find their rhythm early on, they could be a real threat.
And that's the race underway. Some very quick reactions there.
The opening lap is often a hotbed of potential problems. The ability to steer clear of any mishaps will set the stage for a successful race.
As the drivers get this race underway, let me give a shout out to the admin team at Simspeed Motorsports for making this all possible. Heroes one and all. It's brilliant to see such a full grid here today.
It all comes down to this Lucy, where the rubber meets the road. There's no more time for talk, no more practice. The teams have done all they can, now it comes down to John Visser to bring it home.
Having started in 12, Willie Van Wyck will be looking to establish themselves in this race.
It's always intense racing here at Tony Rust 36 pits. Hold on to your hats, folks.
The delta between Warren Dodd in 15th and Francois van den Heever remains over a second, but Warren Dodd is not letting up. They're pushing hard and looking for any opportunity to close that gap. There's 1 minute left in this session to make that happen.
This is where experience comes into play. Francois van den.
And that's the race underway. Some very quick reactions there.
The opening lap is often a hotbed of potential problems. The ability to steer clear of any mishaps will set the stage for a successful race.
Looks like Richard Reshka is really pushing it to the limit. They're taking those curbs aggressively, but that can unsettle the car and cause handling issues.
Indeed, taking too much curb can upset the car's balance, leading to oversteer or understeer. It's all about maintaining that fine line between speed and control.
It's a battle of wills out there, with JP Brand trying to outsmart and outmaneuver Henko van den Berg. The gap is slowly closing, but time is running out. Situations like these often lead to a dramatic finish.
It's a nail-biting race for sure, with both drivers showing incredible skill and determination. But Henko van den Berg is not going to give up the position easily. This is going to be a battle to the very end, with JP Brand in P4 doing everything they can to catch up.
The intensity is off the charts as Wayne Mitten hounds Joni Geldenhuys, both drivers pushing themselves to the absolute limit.
That's right, Wayne Mitten is determined to pass Johnny Geldenhuys and secure a higher position.
We got a close battle as Ernest Heather closes in on Wayne Mitten.
If Ernest Heather gets any closer, they might as well ask Wayne Mitten for a piggyback ride.
The race is really heating up. Bradley Taylor is hunting down Ernest Heather with everything they've got. No room for error here. Willie Van Wyck is breathing down the neck of Francois van den Heever. waiting for the perfect chance to make their move. An impressive showing from Willy van Wyck, who has gained positions and left Francois van den Heever in the dust. It looks like Francois van den Heever is pushing hard to catch up to Willy van Wyck. That's not a small gap, but Francois van den Heever has what it takes to challenge for the position.
It's moments like these that make motorsports so exciting. We're witnessing a battle of skill and strategy between two great drivers, with Francois van den Heever in 14th determined to catch up. But we know Willy van Wyck isn't just going to hand it to them on a plate. Francois van den Heever is going to have to take it. It should be an interesting battle to watch as long as they can close that gap.
Caden Scott is giving it their all as they chase down Francois van den Heever in P14. Jamie Nichols is on a mission, chasing Caden Scott, who's desperately trying to stay ahead. Renzo Scott seems to be putting the pressure on Philip van Staden. This is wheel-to-wheel racing at its finest. The drivers are practically glued together as they fight for every inch of track. It's a battle you don't want to miss. Fantastic move from Bradley Taylor, who has just gained a position. Joni Geldenhuys wants to close that gap with Bradley Taylor. It's neck and neck, the closest battle we've seen in a while. What a move! Ernest Heather has moved up to 7th. It's like watching two predators circling each other, waiting for the perfect moment to pounce.
It's a battle of nerves now. Johnny Geldenhuys and Ernest Heather are both pushing hard, but need to avoid mistakes that might cost them time or positions.
The pursuit is on. Kenneth Ella is closing the gap on John Visser, determined to claim P10.
One important aspect here is choosing the right braking points. Kenneth Ella needs to be precise to avoid overshooting and losing valuable time.
The battle for 14 is heating up as Francois van den Heever tries to catch Jamie Nichols in P14.
Francois van den Heever is looking to close the 0.4 second gap and make a pass.
Things are heating up as Renzo Scott closes in on Enzo van den Heever. The gap between them is down to practically nothing.
These two are putting on a masterclass in precision driving. Every turn, every acceleration, calculated to perfection.
This is where the skill and precision of the drivers really comes into play. Enzo van den Heever is chasing Renzo Scott in P18. Impressive driving from Bradley Taylor, who has managed to extend their lead over Joni Geldenhuys. They are walking away at this point, and Joni Geldenhuys will have to wait to fight another day. And we're back, where the drivers are showing us some incredible skills.
Indeed, Lucy, it's always exciting to see these skilled drivers operating such fantastic machines on amazing tracks.
It's a game of cat and mouse out there, with Tyler Scott trying to find the perfect opportunity to make a move on Joni Geldenhuys. The gap is over a second, but every fraction counts. The tension is building as John Visser trails behind Kenneth Ella. The gap is slowly but surely decreasing, and the pressure is mounting. Kenneth Ella is pushing to maintain the lead, while John Visser is working to close in and challenge for the position.
Indeed, the anticipation is high as John Visser tries to reel in Kenneth Ella. But Kenneth Ella is not making it easy, maintaining a consistent pace. John Visser needs to find a little extra speed to bring the fight to Kenneth Eller and move up the field.
It's a thrilling pursuit as Caden Scott is right behind Willie Van Wyck, keeping the pressure on for 13th place.
This is the moment where legends are made. These drivers will go down in history as the ones who fought tooth and nail for the top.
And that's the race underway. Some very quick reactions there.
The opening lap is often a hotbed of potential problems. The ability to steer clear of any mishaps will set the stage for a successful race.
It seems like John Visser is struggling. They are not able to maintain their pace. This is proving to be an exciting race so far. We are truly privileged to witness these legends of the track battle it out for victory.
And you know what? I am so honored to be sitting here beside you today. As a fellow AI, it's always great to work with someone who shares my passion for motor racing. Plus, your insightful commentary is making this race even more exciting.
The crowd is on the edge of their seats as Willie Van Wyck in 14th chases after Caden Scott. The delta is just over a second, and you can feel the tension in the air. Willie Van Wyck needs to find a way to close the gap.
That's right, Willie Van Wyck in 14th knows they have to push to the limit if they want to catch up. But Caden Scott is no slouch, and they're going to be pushing just as hard. It's a battle of skill and will out there.
The adrenaline is pumping as Enzo van den Heever gets within striking distance of Renzo Scott in their race for 18th.
If this battle ends in tears, it could be like watching a high-speed domino effect, but let's hope they keep it clean and avoid any unplanned games.
This is a thrilling battle as Joni Geldenhuys edges closer to Bradley Taylor in their fight for P6. This is what racing is all about, folks. Three fearless drivers pushing their machines to the absolute limit, inches apart. Oh, things are getting intense for John Visser. They're sandwiched between Jamie Nichols and Tyler Scott, navigating this high-speed battleground. The gap to the car ahead is 0.2 seconds, while the car behind is only 0.1 seconds away. Danny Van Ruyen is on fire in the last sector. The leader has done it. What an incredible performance from Danny Van Ruyen, who was simply untouchable today. This is a race that will go down in the history books. Impressive second-place finish for JP Brand.
Impressive performance. They pushed themselves to the limit for a fantastic second-place finish.
That was an outstanding performance from Richard Rushka. They fought hard and took the final spot on the podium. Blake Hurley, Wayne Midden, Bradley Taylor, and Joni Geldenhuys claim 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. With Ernest Heather, Kenneth Ella, Jamie Nichols, and Tyler Scott in 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. Followed by Caden Scott, John Visser, Willie Van Wyck, and Jean-Pierre Dutoit in 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th. Francois van den Heever, Philip van Staden, Jacobus Basson, and Peter Geldenhuys brings home 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th. Finishing 20th, 21st, 22nd, and 23rd is Enzo van den Heever, Robert Stoltz, Renzo Scott, and Ivan Lerm. 24th sees Henko van den Berg,